leaders, dreamers, changemakers, welcome to the Vibrant Living Podcast. Here, limitations shatter and potential explodes into a kaleidoscope of possibility. At the helm, Donna Tashjian, life mastery coach and founder of Vibrant Living International, weaves godly wisdom and Christian perspective into every step, empowering you to discover your purpose and light up your world. Here is your host, Donna.
Hello, my Vibrant Living community. This is Donna, and I am here to welcome you with a special guest. Jeanne has joined me today to share her story and her wisdom, and it's filled with hope. So I am looking forward to hearing all you have to share. Jeanne, where do you live in the world?
Well, I'm in Florida, in Clearwater, and just so people hear it, my name actually is pronounced Jeanne.
Okay, I apologize.
No problem.
And that is very French sounding, if I'm right.
It is, yes, it's a French pronunciation. It would normally be Jeanne or something like that.
Yeah, which is what I did, and I apologize.
No worries. I just thought, better than going the whole show and hearing Jeanne. I mean, that's not my name. All good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And so tell us a little bit about you, if you will.
Sure. So I am primarily a mom of two teenage daughters. I have been a coach for about 13 years, and I had other background. I was a fashion designer when I started my professional life. I was an actress for many years, filmmaker. I lived around the world. I actually lived in France for 6 years. I was an executive recruiter for Wall Street, and I was hiring investment bankers. And I became a coach about 13 years ago. And I did the whole offline thing of, networking and getting clients that way. And then I went through a big life change and I was impoverished. And about not quite 6 years ago, I was deep in debt and no assets, no nothing. I didn't own anything. And I thought, wow, I really need to fix this because I'm 54 now and something needs to change. So I figured out how to get clients online with no ads and funnels and all of that difficult kind of scary stuff that is a lot of money, time, and energy poured down a drain. So I figured that out, how to get clients with organic social media marketing, and it worked. And I got to $1 million in 17 months of starting it.
Mm-hmm. And what tips would you like to share today about how you did that?
Well, it's really about talking to people. Because I was in a very bad coaching program and they were trying to make me do ads. And I said, ads are not going to work. I see this. And they said, no, they're not really working that well for coaches. I said, okay, so what do I do? And they said, do organic. And I said, what, like carrots? And they said, no, Jeanne. I said, what do we do? And they said, go talk to people. So that's what I did. I talked to people, and it's really just conversation-based marketing where you're not spammy or weird, and you're not trying to sell or trying to be something you're not. And I think the tip is when you just have a conversation with somebody and you're not positioning or manipulating, it just works. Mm-hmm. Because you're not bait and switching, you're not pretending you're not trying to sell. Just, hey, let's talk. Okay. And then it's just a real conversation with that weird, spammy, selly kind of stuff that goes on with people. Mm-hmm. That's how you don't do it. And when you can eliminate stuff, people are like, oh, there's this just human being, and what do you do? And I do this. Oh, okay. I'd like to hear more about that. Okay, cool. So the whole process of the sale is very non-disingenuous. It's non-manipulative. And I feel like there's so much training on how to manipulate people in sales that it's frightful. Yeah. That's how we're being sold to. So I have this whole thing about the ethics of sales and moving forward. And it really has to stop that we are half lying to people, not really being completely transparent, only highlighting. See, some people only highlight successes, but they don't talk about, well, maybe you might not want to be one of those successes. that kind of thing. I think when people can see that you're just telling them, this is what's going on, there are some results, not everybody gets those results, but this is possible, this is how we do it, this is how we coach, this is what's included, and basically what you're going to get no matter what, because I have an agreement in my contract. Do you want to do this? They're like, yeah, that's a very good question. They either do or they don't, but it's not getting through all this manipulative language or action. Yeah. So I believe that's why I've gotten to several million and why a lot of people coach with us, because they're like, well, I want to do something simple like that.
Right. Yeah, there's so much spammy stuff. It's, I get contacted probably every day. Something like, let me help you reach 1 million. And my response is, how do you know I haven't?
Exactly.
We haven't had any conversation. This is like a cold first message. And like, you don't even know whether I have or not, or if that's even important to me.
Exactly. My question was, do you want that?
Yeah.
Like maybe you don't care about 1 million. Maybe you're like, no, I'm good. I just want to, like a client came in the other day and he said, Jeanne, I just want to get an extra 3K a month. And I said, great, do this program. That's geared for that. I didn't say, oh, but don't you want 1 million? He was just like, and then we got on our first call and he said, this is why I hired you. He said, you just showed me how to craft an offer that shows I care about my clients, because my other offer did not. I said, you're correct with that. He said, that's why I hired you, because your offer made me think, wow, they actually care about the clients here. And then he got on the first call and he goes, okay, you just reinforced why I hired you, because what you just showed me, I want to be you. So it's also about your offer. It's not just how to sell. It's what's the follow through. Is the follow through your offer, what you're giving? Does that demonstrate that you actually care? And it's not like, hey, let's just take your credit card and whisk you through here and bam, bam, we're done. So he said, wow, this is exactly. And I said, well, I didn't know that. He goes, no, that's why I hired you. I thought she cares. And I want to coach with somebody that shows me how to show I care and really, do that. And I said, well, great. I didn't know that was the reason. I thought you just wanted to get some clients. He said, well, that too. So I agree with you. It's the question always is for me with every client, what do you want? Mm-hmm. Not what do I think you should want, or what am I assuming you want, or what does the whole world think you should want, or what does every coach or consultant or service provider want? That doesn't matter to me. That matters to me. The person sitting, what do you want? And I'll listen. It's usually very different what each person wants. Yeah. Then I'll listen and I'll think, okay, do I feel like we could possibly help you get that? If it's 100% yes, then I say, okay, I'm 100% certain that we could help you if you did the work, because they have to do some work.
Right.
If you're coachable. And I say, okay, this is what I would suggest. But if I'm feeling the person doesn't really want it, won't do the work and isn't coachable, then I'll say, I don't know if this would be a fit. Nicely. I don't know if we're the right ones for you, so that they don't feel rejected, because that's also important. How do people feel no matter what, right? It's not just client or not. It's okay. Client or not, and make sure everybody leaves the engagement feeling good. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yep, it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Leaving it a win-win, whether we're working together or not, that we are encouraging and hopeful for people.
Right.
Either way. So it is, you kind of glossed over, because I heard a little bit of your story before, but being the age you said, 54, and completely in debt with and children, and all of that. That had to be a pretty scary place. What were some of the mindset stuff that you did to begin to take action?
Well, it's funny, even when I was because that was the second time when I first started coaching 13 years ago was the first real fear. It's like, I'm not a coach. I have to be a coach. I have to start this business from scratch. That was so scary. My coach said that she said, your fear was so palpable. She said, it affected me. It was like, and she said, you took action anyway. Mm-hmm. She said, your fear was she said, I have never coached somebody that was so scared ever in my life. And she goes, and I understand why you'd be scared, because you had no assets, living in New York. And it's like, what do I do? There's visions of like being being homeless, bag lady. It's funny, even people that are multimillionaires, apparently that's their worst fear, that they're going to be a bag lady on the streets of New York, even when they don't live in New York. But I happen to live in New York at that point. That's a joke, but that's real. People have this vision of, and the funny joke is they're not even living in New York. How'd they end up in New York, as a bag lady? But that's just an aside. So it was very, it's scary. And the thing is, life is always going to be, there's fear that you can't get rid of fear. People say, oh, get rid of your fear. You can't get rid of fear. You can master your fear. You can master how you deal with your fear. You can master yourself around the fear. You can master your doubts. It's about mastering the doubt. And it's dealing with the fear, or getting rid of the doubts, actually. You get rid of the doubts and you master or deal with fear. You will never 100% get rid of fear, because that's a human thing. And fear pushes us. Do you want to be in like debilitating fear? No, that's the fear I was in. It was really hard to act, but I acted anyway. So I think the mindsets, there's just so much mindset. It's just take a step no matter what. It was even if you imagine, I say to people, I would imagine that, I was a plane, and the plane's wings were just laden with fear, like just, but you take off anyway. And you're struggling to get the plane up, but then as you start flying, the fears start flying off the wings because you're flying. And that analogy really helped me a lot. It helped a lot of people when I told them this. They said that actually helped, because it's like that. It's like, but take off anyway. And I think it's just really wading through your fears no matter what, and you take action no matter what. You drag the fears behind you. Now that mindset is what got me just moving, because you're not going to work it out. You just have to take action anyway, no matter what.
Yeah. And you did it one step at a time. That's wonderful. And if someone is in that place, or they're further along and they're needing some help, what words of wisdom would you have for them today?
It's always taking a step. It's also understanding that you are worthy and ready right now. Because when you keep putting that off, when I feel better about myself, when I feel like I might be worthy to make money, when I feel ready, this will never happen. Again, you need to just take a step, no matter how scary it is. Because once you take a step and then you take another, no matter what's going on around you, complete chaos, just doing the reps, take a step. You're somewhere new with that new step. And then you take another one and another one. And it is not about sitting there, going into your mind, which is a continuous loop. That's a never-ending loop that is creating a new synapsis of failure, by the way. And it is not your intuition, folks. It's really not. They figured out a lot of people do not know the difference between intuition and fear.
Absolutely.
I actually know a PhD on intuition, and she wrote an ebook about that. She goes, you are absolutely correct. I actually wrote an ebook on that phenomenon.
Yep.
So stop thinking that you know it all and that, I'm just going to check in with my intuition, but you're actually checking in with your fear and reinforcing it every time. When you check in with your intuition and it's really your fear, you're just keeping yourself back. And you told yourself, I got to check in with my intuition. My intuition says don't do it. No, your fear is keeping you back from not investing, from not doing it. It is definitely not your intuition, because your intuition is broken at that point. Your intuition and you are not connected. Everybody says, my intuition. No, we don't even know. And it's scary when you think about that. They've proven it. Human beings think that they're connected to their intuition, and they're not. They're disconnected.
Yeah.
You've got to reconnect first to get your intuition back.
Yeah. I just did a video on when people call it wisdom and it's fear.
Absolutely.
They think they're being wise. I'm being wise. And no, they're really being fearful, and being able to begin to distinguish the difference, what that looks like. So I'm right there with you. I'm agreeing with you. So if people want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for them to reach out to you?
Well, I have a website, Jeanne, JeanneOmlor.com, and there's hundreds of reviews. They can also find me all over social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, all my name. I make it really simple for people to find me. Probably the best would be, well, if they wanted to actually book a call with me, you can do that on the website
Okay.
or LinkedIn. It's just
Okay.
easier to see the messages on LinkedIn.
Okay. Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good. I will put that information in the show notes in the description so people can reach out to you. And thank you for all you're doing, Jeanne, to make the world a better place and encouraging, giving people hope and helping the people who want to make a difference leave a legacy. So thank you for all that you do, and I bless you today.
Thank you. I bless you as well. And thanks for having me on your show.
You are welcome. Another amazing story of hope and resilience and taking action and learning the difference between fear and wisdom, as I talked about in the video. So if you would like some support, I have a wisdom consultation so that we can determine the difference between fear and faith so that you can be all that God has created you to be and taking action. And I bless you, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Bye for now.
I hope your soul feels ignited, your spirit nourished, and your mind buzzing with possibilities. Share this with a friend who needs a dose of vibrant living. Tag us on hashtag Vibrant Living Podcast and tell us your biggest takeaway. For more support, clarity, and wisdom, visit Donna at iVibrantLiving.com. See you soon.